Buy where?
And it's the Babe Cave. We go inside the new selfie studio that's all the rage here in Northeast Ohio. Stay with us. What's new starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hello again, Northeast Ohio, and a very good Tuesday afternoon to everyone watching at home. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for choosing What's New. Alongside my partner, Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford. Betsy, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you. So happy we are not outside because you would be sweating it up like crazy. The heat, the humidity, it's on. And we've had a lot of thundery weather that's been going on, too. As a matter of fact, there's a flash flood warning that continues out in Lorain and Erie counties. Matt Winston's been keeping an eye on all of that for us. Matt?
Yeah, Betsy, for sure. We've had some very efficient rainfall producers this afternoon. In fact, areas near Vermilion out in Lorain County saw up to 2 inches of rain in 15 to 20 minutes. That's all it took to get almost a month's worth of rainfall. And the rain continues. You can see the showers and thunderstorms. I've overlaid lightning on this. These are pretty frequent lightning producers when they get going. You can see most of the activity off towards the north has died out. All the attention now shifting down to the south. We've got some big boomers heading down into the south. But in terms of the flooding, yeah, we've had 2-3 inches of rain. Areas of Lorain County heading into northern Erie County, as Betsy mentioned. That's where we've got the flash flood warning still, including Vermilion, starts over towards Amherst. Route 2, if you have floodwaters, you know the drill. Turn around, don't drown, don't go in those. But the rain has started to subside a little bit, just a light to moderate rain there. These are the bigger storms, though. Not severe right now, though, but we do have some hail near Fredericksburg, south of the Worcester area. These are going to migrate into the Canton and Tuscarawas County areas. Other storms out towards the east producing some lightning out in Ashtabula County. But guys, we've got more of this to come. We're going to do this the next couple days, and then the pattern changes. Got the forecast for you coming up.
All right, very good, Matt. We'll see you in just a couple minutes. The attorney for the head football coach fired from Canton McKinley High School over allegations he made a player eat food, which was against his religion, say they want their due process. January Keaton attended a news conference today put together by the coach's attorney, and she joins us now for more on that. January, it looks like the coach plans to fight for his job.
Oh, yeah, Jay. He definitely plans to fight for his job. Yesterday, the Canton City School Board, they held a disciplinary hearing. Like you said, it's part of the due process included in the academic portion of the coach's contract with Canton McKinley. He's a coach as well as an academic liaison. This was to address the academic portion of his time here at Canton McKinley. Watley, is accused of making an athlete on the football team eat pork as part of a punishment for missing practice. This athlete is part of a religion that does not allow him to eat pork. Watley's lawyer is asking, where's the evidence? At today's press conference, Watley tearfully denied those allegations that were laid out in yesterday's hearing. He says he wasn't just coaching a team, he was coaching a family. Watson, he still technically remains an academic liaison with the school, but he no longer coaches there after he allegedly made that Hebrew Israelite athlete eat a pepperoni pizza for missing that May 24th practice. Pork, as I mentioned, that's against his religion. Watley's lawyer, though, he's balked at these allegations.
We were hoping to learn what the district's evidence is for the wild, false, reckless, outrageous accusations against Marcus Watley and his coaching staff. We insisted on our due process rights. What is your evidence?
Now, at yesterday's hearing, surveillance video was shown of the incident, but it didn't have sound. And Patakos, the lawyer, says that's what makes it prove absolutely nothing. That's the evidence, he's saying. Where is it? Now, Watley, he's a 39-year-old husband of 4. He's been a coach at Canton McKinley and also an academic advisor for the past 3 years. He's still considered, like I said, he's still got an academic liaison tie to the school. And that hearing that was yesterday, that'll determine whether he continues that role. Now, future hearings, they will be determined based upon the findings of the board from yesterday's hearing, guys.
All right, January Keaton live on What's New this afternoon. January, thanks. Betsy?
Well, now on your feet at 5, did you know that manufacturing drives nearly 50% of Northeast Ohio's economy? Many don't know that, and local manufacturers have long struggled to find enough skilled employees. Well, today, more than 100 local business leaders announced a new plan to train high-tech manufacturing workers. It all starts in Glenville with a playground and an old school. The plan, created by the nonprofit manufacturing consultant Magnet, It aims to get kids interested in manufacturing jobs. That's why it's converting an old playground and school into a resource center that will serve as new classroom space for the Cleveland schools and as a hub for local manufacturing.
Manufacturing doesn't run on machines. Manufacturing runs on people. And we need people trained and excited about the opportunities that a career in manufacturing can provide them. This physical space, this blueprint, will hopefully be two pieces of the puzzle that excite people to tap into the amazing resources that we have here, training facilities that are already here that can raise people up and make our region stronger.
Well, the plan has been dubbed Make It Better, and it also offers company leaders guidance on networking and recruiting, as well as training workers.
I think that's a tremendous idea. Very good. All right, as the summer months heat up and people are heading back to work, doctors are actually spreading the warning about not leaving your children in a car.
It's a problem that we have every year. And Romney Smith joins us now. Romney, we hear this message, but you know, every time it happens, everybody says, what if? It could have been. How could this happen? But it could be happening more frequently. That's what you found out today.
That's right, and it's really sad to think about, but the reason is because millions of Ohioans have been working at home because of the pandemic for more than a year now, and so it's that change in pace, that change in their normal routine that leads some parents to completely forget that there's a kid in the back seat. So the National Highway Safety Transportation Administration says there have been nearly 900 children who have died in hot cars since 1998. Now, we all know that even one child passing away from something that's preventable is heartbreaking, and that's the reason doctors say they're sending out this warning.
This is a topic very close to my heart, and the reason is that we see this loss every summer. Every summer we see and hear about a tragedy which could have been prevented.
In 2018 and 2019, those years each saw a record 53 kids die from heat stroke being stuck inside a hot vehicle. Now, because so many parents are going back to work physically because their jobs are now requiring them to, and summer camps and daycares are back open, a major change in routine compared to the pandemic. That's why doctors are sending out the message to leave your purse or a shoe in the back seat so that you create awareness and avoid an accident.
The more awareness we create about something, the more we hear about something, the more cognizant we might be as we are going through a daily life to say, oh, you know, that day I heard so-and-so talk about it. And even if it just brushes or crosses your mind one hot second, that might be that 1 second of cognizance, which reminds you or alerts you and can really save a human life.
Now, some newer vehicles have a weight-based back seat that can alarm you if a child is left there. But if you don't have that, again, experts are saying take something of significance, put it in the back seat as a reminder. That way, when you get out, you have to get your wallet or your shoe or your purse. And then you might realize, oops, forgot to drop little Johnny off at daycare. Let me go do that since my routine is changing.
Exactly. Romney, it's certainly a heartbreaking scenario. I know 2020 was significantly low, obviously, because so many parents were not going to work and they were not taking their kids to daycare. What are we seeing so far in the early months of this year?
Jay, unfortunately, it's already happened this year. There have been 2 children who have died of heat exhaustion in hot vehicles so far. So again, as we head into these summer months, we know Cleveland is heating up. That's why doctors are sending out this warning. They're saying, we know in 2020, a lot of you guys work from home. Your routine is about to change. Please, please, please be aware, because we do not want to have to deal with that here. We don't want to lose any child to a preventable accident.
It's such a tragic story, and so many people say, well, how could that possibly happen? Well, here's the fact. It does happen, so what can we do to prevent it? That's the next step in this whole process. Romney, thank you very much for that.
Well, because of a schedule change in the NFL this year, we now get more of the football we care about and less of the football we don't care about. The NFL moves to a 17-game regular season this year, and because of that, the preseason is now, thankfully, down to just 3 games. Here it is, the Browns' 2021 preseason schedule out today. They're going to open at Jacksonville. That's Saturday, August 14th. That, by the way, will be Urban Meyer's first game as an NFL head coach, the former Ohio State football coach. It will also be the first pro game for #1 overall pick quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Their only home preseason game this year, that will happen Sunday, August 22nd. That's when they will play the New York Giants, and then they'll wrap the preseason with the game you will see right here on Channel 3. That is Sunday, August 29th, when they take on the Atlanta Falcons. Betsy, personally, I'm a huge fan of the shortened preseason. To think that once upon a time they played 6 preseason games, then it went down to 4. And obvious fans and players have thought for years that's just way too much. 3's much closer to the actual number where I think they're going to get it right. Players hate it. Fans aren't big fans of it. I think the only people that like it are the coaches. They get that extra opportunity to look at all their players before they whittle it down to 53.
Yes, and I always get upset when somebody gets injured in the preseason.
It's horrible.
It's like, what was that worth to you?
I know. And we see it every single year during the preseason. You can bet on it happening this year. Some major name across the league will have their season ended in a game that doesn't count.
Let it be from the Browns.
Yes, please. All right, ahead on What's New. More and more women are freezing their eggs. We're going to tell you why they are doing that coming up.
And was there really a huge blow up between Mariah Carey and Jay-Z's Rock Nation management agency? 3 question marks in the script in this one.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, everybody. We're going to dig into the details in Pop Break.
I wrote that, and that's why I put 3 behind it.
I thought you were a big fan, yeah.
I love
I'm
the
impressed.
exclamation points, the question marks. Yeah.
Emphasis.
Drive it home, baby. All right, Matt Wentz is back with us with more on this steamy weather out there. Wow, Matt, I think as soon as you walk outside, you start to sweat.
Yeah, if you could rewrite the weather forecast over the next couple of days, bring in some more comfortable air. Live look at CSU Cam. It is a heavy look to downtown Cleveland. Just some light rain moving in. I think the bulk of the storms will stay south of Cleveland this evening. But your outdoor dining forecast, best not to take any risks. It is pretty thick outside. Nothing like a sweaty date outside. Head inside for that outdoor dining forecast. We'll call it the indoor dining forecast. We'll be back with the latest look at the radars and the extended forecasts next.
Mic check right now. We're talking about egg freezing and why it's on the rise during the pandemic. Okay. And you might remember in the early days, people thought there would be a lot of babies, but there weren't. And now we're talking about the future.
Well, you may remember in the early days of the pandemic, there was a lot of talk about a potential baby boom. Well, then reports came out that there's been a drop in birth rates or a baby bust. Well, just because babies aren't being born now doesn't mean that plans haven't been made for the future. More and more women have been turning to science to extend their fertility timelines by freezing their eggs during the pandemic. Digital anchor Stephanie Haney has more on the trend and what's new in this emerging field.
These days, there's no shortage of companies trying to sell you the idea that they can predict how much time you have to start a family, especially on social media.
Modern fertility can really help you in making decisions for your future, especially when it comes to family planning.
We all have a lot more variables in our life, and it makes it harder to find something not only that you're compatible with, but also that is geographically compatible.
Erin Sykes is 38 and single and says the pandemic has put her priorities into sharp focus.
I have not found my partner yet, but I know 100% that I want to have children.
For people like Erin who want to have a family one day, the marvels of modern science have opened up a whole new world of possibilities with egg freezing.
I think that it makes me even happier and feel more relieved that I have been able to kind of take the ball into my own hands and make sure that my personal desires are accommodated for.
Dr. Marjan Adiran is the director of in vitro fertilization at the Cleveland Clinic. She says more and more women are taking Erin's approach.
The egg freezing process now is applying mostly to women who are thinking about their fertility in the future.
With the pandemic putting so many of our personal lives on hold, Dr. Priya Masalil with reproductive gynecology and infertility says she's seeing patients now who previously hadn't thought much about their future families.
So I think the pandemic, like all of us, we had a lot of time at home to sit on Google and search things that are important. And I think a lot of people just realized that egg freezing was a thing and they could do it. I think a lot of us, including myself, felt like, oh my gosh, life is about family and growing a family.
Erin did her first round of egg freezing at 36. Now she's done it 3 times total, twice during the pandemic.
It did make it easier in some ways. You don't feel like going out. You need a little bit extra sleep. And I didn't feel any guilt about staying home and just taking care of myself.
Erin's not alone. In the last 6 months of 2020, one fertility clinic reported a 50% increase in egg freezing cycles across its 40 U.S. locations, up from the same time period in 2019. It's something I've experienced firsthand. I knew in my 20s that I wanted to freeze my eggs, but I didn't actually go through with it until I was in my 30s, partly because the procedure is so expensive. Here's what I learned when I finally did it.
This is it. I am at Extend Fertility.
Before you can even begin the process, there's a lot of testing involved, and it goes far beyond the kind you can buy on Instagram. It's a major commitment of time, your emotions, and your money.
It's not even half the battle. It's kind of like maybe a third or a quarter of the way to actually having children through these frozen eggs.
And at the end of the day, there are no guarantees.
There is no certain number of eggs that you're going to have that's going to guarantee you a baby. It's not 100% by any means.
And this is just the start of the conversation. We'll be exploring more about the challenges surrounding egg freezing in the coming weeks here on What's New, because this is still a relatively new area of science and one that hasn't always been accessible to everyone. We'll talk about the time commitment and the financial investment, but also look at the cultural shifts surrounding insurance coverage and how many new providers are making it available to more people. Plus the science behind how it all works. And of course, the lawyer in me will have to explore some of the legal issues to think about. And there are quite a few of them, Betsy.
Oh, there's so many people who are interested in this and for any number of reasons. So I think it's a really cool story to follow along, and you get to tell your story too. Props to you for that. Thanks, Steph.
Thanks, Betsy.
See you in a bit. Well, I got to tell you what, it's anything but freezing out there. Is that a horrible transition or what?
No, you didn't. No, you did. Stephanie's laughing, so it must have been okay.
I didn't know where else to go with that one. We try and make things so smooth and, nice. And, and then, I come in like a bull in a china shop.
Some transitions write themselves and others you have to work on.
I don't know where
speaking of transitions, I feel badly because the last couple of weather words for Matt put him in really tough spots. So Thursday, the weather word was goldfish, and here's how he fit that into the forecast. It's going to be humid like a goldfish out there. I felt sorry for him. Then yesterday, the word was dismount, and he said, hey, if you're planning to dismount a horse tonight, it's going to be kind of hot out there. It's going to be slippery. So today, Matt, I'm just giving you a fastball right down the middle of the plate. Your weather word is soupy. Because I like you so much and I've been unusually cruel.
Thanks. I can breathe a little easier over here at the Weather Center. Not just worried about flash flood warnings, but whatever Jay's word of the day is for sure. So, but guys, the good news, the flash flood warning got dropped a little bit early. So that's some good news. We are seeing receding waters in the Vermilion areas of Lorain County, but we've still got lots of rain. This picture coming into me in Facebook from Russell J. Lewis II. Look at all the water. This fell in a hurry, about 20, 30 minutes. They got rain after that, but the real heavy stuff fell for just a little while. There's the yard there. I think that's a dog. It's not I thought it was a miniature horse at first, but the dog lapping up some water there. But certainly a mess. Everything's got to drain out, right? So where our flood warning was, and we still have some flood advisories, so still some issues here, just some light rain. This is going to fade over the next couple hours. We should be pretty much done with the rain off towards the north. Cleveland area, if you have evening plans, I think the bulk of the activities down to your south as well. Likely just some light to moderate rain. We should start to clear things out towards the east. We'll watch the lake breeze still meandering there. Down to the south, that's where the action is right now. This is where the bulk of the energy is. Nothing severe. These are your run-of-the-mill thunderstorms, but they look pretty ominous coming in. Remember, when you see red on radar, when you see real dark clouds coming in, that's not indicative of the severity of the storm. That's indicative of how much moisture there is. So really dark clouds hold lots of moisture. The red you see, that's how heavy the rain is. So we've got real heavy rain, a little bit of hail mixing in, a lot of it melting before it hits the ground, and some lightning. But this is roaring through areas of Holmes County, New Philly, Dover, you're next, Beach City, eventually over towards the Canton area south of town as well. As we look at these as vertically in the 3D here, you can see how these columns stretch way up into the atmosphere. So you can get some gusty winds as that rain falls from 30,000 feet. It can bring some cooler air down. And some of these are towering 20, 30,000 feet. Keep in mind, planes fly up here, so just below that. But certainly we've got some towering cumulonimbus this afternoon. Still some storms down by Orwell, southern Ashtabula County, and over about to get some hit out towards Pymatuning Lake here over the next half hour. The bigger picture, though, we've got more tropical moisture. Boy, I've showed this 3 days in a row because it still applies. That thick humidity remains around here, and a soupy air mass will as well. Temperatures in the 70s right now. We've got dew points that are there as well. So more fog tonight after these storms clear out. And you can see the trend. Still some scattered storms around the area tonight. They'll fade after midnight. We deal with clouds and fog tomorrow morning. If you like today's forecast, same thing tomorrow. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. Things clear out tomorrow afternoon. Little heating of the day. Bubble, bubble, bubble. There go the showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. More efficient rainfall producers. Look at this humidity. Yeah, we've been tracking the humid air over the course of the weekend, but next week, that's when the changes arrive. It looks like some fresh air coming in here. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Low 80s, scattered storms next 2 days. Friday, we start to clear things out. We'll have to watch for some stray storms this weekend, but by next week, we're talking 70s and low humidity. We'll be back with more after the break.
Hi, y'all. I'm back to chat it up with you.
Hello, Kira.
Hi.
Welcome back to What's New. The newest season of The Bachelorette premiered last night. I'm sure everybody's aware of that. And as fans expected, there was a noticeable difference. Longtime host Chris Harrison, gone. Instead, former Bachelorette contestants Tashia, did I say that right? Tashia? Is that right? Tashia Adams and Caitlin Bristow stepped in. See, I've never seen this show. And now everybody knows that. Late this afternoon, ABC Entertainment confirmed Harrison will not be returning at all. He was previously taking time away because of how he handled a racial controversy on the show. He hosted the popular franchise for nearly 20 years. There's much more going on in the entertainment world. Here's Kiara Cotton with all of it and a correct pronunciation of all names in your pop break.
A new movie detailing Harvey Weinstein's expose is officially in the works. Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan have been tapped to play Jodie Cantner and Megan Twohey in She Said, a movie about the two New York Times reporters who helped expose Weinstein's history of abuse and sexual misconduct against women. The Universal Pictures film is based on their best-selling book and is set to be produced by Brad Pitt. Weinstein is currently serving a 23-year prison sentence for the rape and assault of two women. He denies any wrongdoing. She Said is expected to begin production this summer. Mariah Carey is setting the record straight. Rumors that the 51-year-old singer had an explosive fight with Roc Nation CEO Jay-Z erupted over the weekend. The reports claim that the fight led to the singer leaving her contract with the management agency. While it's true she's no longer working with them, there was no big fight. In a tweet, she said, "The only explosive situation I'd ever get into with Hove is a creative tangent, such as our #1 song, Heartbreaker." Jay-Z and Mariah have worked together numerous times over the years, and according to a source, they remain on good terms. Tracee Ellis Ross is entering the podcast game. The actress and entrepreneur is set to produce I Am America, a podcast spotlighting local heroes. In 10 episodes, Ross will showcase stories about the hidden angels of America, something that's been a passion of hers for years. I Am America, the podcast, is set to be released in early 2022.
Podcasts have taken on a whole new life in the world of entertainment. I personally can't get enough of them, so I'll be sure to add that one to my list. Jay and Betsy?
The list just keeps on growing and growing.
I'm going to petition that we extend the days to 30 hours instead of 24 because there currently are not enough hours in the day for me to listen to all the podcasts I want to listen to.
Yeah.
Think we can get that done? Matt?
We can try.
Call in some backup?
No.
I'm not in charge.
Yeah, he's not in charge, he says. Kiara, thanks. All right, coming up in the next half hour of What's New, we are saving you money. We're going to tell you which retailers are offering some of the hottest deals of the summer.
Then Amazon's new sidewalk feature is creating a lot of controversy. Have you heard about this yet?
Ugh.
How to opt out of the feature that shares your Wi-Fi with your neighbors.
Disgusting.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Let's get you caught up on 3 things you need to know now at 5:30. A second top official with the Hudson American Legion has now resigned. Today, the American Legion Auxiliary of Ohio announced that Cindy Suchan has stepped down. She and another leader are accused of cutting a veteran's mic during his Memorial Day speech when he spoke about how freed black slaves had honored fallen soldiers after the Civil War. This comes as the charter was suspended for the group pending permanent closure last week. Jim Garrison resigned last week as well.
Betsy, we're hearing more about an incident at Canton McKinley High School that ultimately got 7 football coaches there fired. Today, head coach Marcus Watley denied the allegations that he made a player eat pork, even though it's against that player's religious beliefs. This was allegedly done as a form of punishment. Watley and his attorney conducted a news conference today to explain their side of the story. This comes after a disciplinary hearing yesterday, which is part of Watley's due process outlined in the teacher portion of his contract. During the hearing, surveillance video was shown of the alleged incident without sound. Watley's attorney says it proves his client did nothing wrong.
And today, the Browns have announced their 2021 preseason schedule, and there will only be 3 preseason games as the league transitions to a 17-game regular season schedule instead of 16. The first game is going to be in Jacksonville, Florida on August 14th at 7 p.m. Week 2 against the New York Giants. That's here in Cleveland at 1. And Week 3 is going to be in Atlanta against the Falcons at 8 p.m. That will air right here on Channel 3.
Yeah.
And with that, we have so much to look forward to with the team this year.
We really do. You had mentioned it earlier. You know, the thought going into those 3 games is health, health, health.
Yes.
Just, you know, because we know what we have. Mm-hmm. There are obviously some position battles on the team as there are every year, but you just want to get everybody through it, get to week 1, and let's get this march to the Super Bowl underway. Can we already?
And last year it was health, 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 and oh my gosh, don't let me get COVID, please. You know, it was this grind that we were in. So hopefully this is going to help to turn things a little bit. You know, it is now only 12 days to the start of summer. We're already talking about fall football and whatnot.
I know. And it feels like it's been summer for at least 12 days.
It feels like it's been summer for the last, 72 hours?
We're going to continue to count this thing down for sure. All right, we start this half hour. For months, we have been talking about how the pandemic is causing companies to increase the prices on things like cars, lumber, meat, toilet paper, you name it. But today we're talking about ways you can save money. Amazon's Prime Day is actually a 2-day event. It's a little earlier this year, June 21st and 22nd. They bumped it up so it doesn't compete with the Olympics. And again, it has other major retailers like Walmart and Target slashing their prices as they try to fight for a piece of that retail pie. Here's NBC's Stephanie Rule with tips on where we are most likely to find the best deals.
It's an all-out battle of the summer sales. Amazon, Walmart, and Target all planning major shopping events for later this month. Amazon's Prime Day is back to its regular midsummer schedule after being delayed to October last year due to the pandemic. And not to be left out, Target and Walmart each have their own deal events starting June 20th, the day before Amazon's 2-day sale.
Prime Day's absolutely become a national shopping holiday in the U.S. Last year, they delayed it to October, and it merged into the holiday season. But now, back in June, I think you'll see that it's going to be the biggest shopping day of the year.
This year, Amazon will focus on small businesses with a curated digital storefront and a $10 credit for those who spend $10 on select small business products ahead of Prime Day. Walmart is saying their deals will be like Black Friday. Look for a 40-inch TV for $178 and a kid's smartwatch for $24.50. The big box giant is also going to be offering in-store only deals as the company expands its opening hours across the country. Target is touting deals on food and beverage and reminding customers that they have no membership fee, a not-so-subtle jab at the $13 per month cost of an Amazon Prime membership. It's a battle of the retail giants, and at the end of the day, the consumer wins.
So they're rolling it back to peculiarly about 6 months before the holidays.
Yeah, I like your logic on this. Yeah. I think you're right.
Balancing those spreadsheets, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, then now you don't have to wait 8 months after Black Friday, which was always the biggest shopping day of the year. until all the way into July. They say that they're doing this because they don't want to have to compete with the Olympics, because everybody's going to be busy watching NBC for the Olympics. But I think you're right. I think this makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's also
Spread it out.
second quarter versus third quarter.
Anything you're dying to buy that you just have to have that you're going to wait for the big sales for, or no?
Josie's birthday is in July, so I'm always
Shop for that
scouting
now.
the deals on that. She's talking about some Ohuhu markers or something. I don't know. They're watercolor
Ohuhu
markers.
markers.
They're very special markers. She loves to draw with them. And
very
they just
good.
happen to be very expensive, so hopefully there'll be a smashing deal on a generic site.
I hope so for you. Betsy is the queen of finding deals. Like you really know how to shop.
I try.
All right, still ahead on What's New. We're going to tell you what the city of Cleveland is doing this summer to honor the late Michael Stanley. It's really a cool idea. I'm all for it.
Then protecting your personal information. Jay is going to comment
I'm fired up.
after we tell you about this fantastical story of how Amazon wants to let you offer your Wi-Fi to all of your neighbors.
Why?
How about that?
Fi.
Going to be Wi-Fi. I see what you
See
did
what
there.
I did there.
All right, Matt, lots of folks have been out walking, actually, despite it being like soup outside. So the big question is going to be, when is this humidity going away?
Yeah, well, October is just around the corner, Betsy. We should be fine by the time we get to
Remember when we
Halloween.
talked about how it's going to warm up eventually in June is coming?
Right.
Yeah.
I remember those days. We were all complaining about how cool it was. But yeah, murky look out there on the CSU cam. We've still got some showers and thunderstorms out there. Bulk of the activity is going to be down here this evening, but then we do it all over again tomorrow. I've got your forecasts. We'll try to time these out, and we'll talk about some relief coming our way. Coming up.
I like the relief part of that. Broadway Mary's in Lorain is our Save Our Sauce feature tonight on What's New. It'll take you back to funkier times. Stop in for the retro vibe and stay for the amazing burgers. Doug Tratner has a full list of Lorain's options. It's at WKYC.com/Save Our Sauce. We're coming right back.
Yes, I am.
Well, Northeast Ohio gets to dodge the brunt of the cicada invasion this summer, but areas around Washington, D.C., not so lucky. The National Weather Service in the Baltimore, Washington area tweeted this weekend radar image It's believed to show the creatures. It does show the creature, actually. So what you're seeing there, the pink, is called a hydrometeorological classification algorithm.
Of course.
That basically uses the dual pole radar data to determine what kind of a target the radar is seeing. When you see the pink, that is a prescribed kind of the algorithm, the mathematical function of saying, nope, that's a bug. So there you go. But believe it or not, the cicadas, bats, birds, you name it, we get midges on the radar here.
Sure, I was going to say that's our midges.
Mm-hmm. And they're firing up. And
I'd rather have midges.
I would too, man. Those cicadas,
They
they're
are
brutal.
spooky.
And I had Adam Kenyon, our operations manager here over on the engineering side, said that he was down in Columbus over the weekend, and they were practically plugging their ears. They were so loud, and there were the little casings all over the place and stuff.
And the Memorial Golf Tournament, and you want quiet when you're playing golf.
Yeah,
and trust me, I'm sure all of the pros were like, can we get out of here already with all this cicada noise, because you can't concentrate.
Put some earplugs in. You're getting paid to be here.
That's
You're
what I
fine.
say.
Take the kids down and go take a look at the gross little bugs. It's always a real fun one. And the Memorial's right by the zoo down there, so you could probably go and do that. All right, Matt Wentz, a lot of folks have been keeping an eye on the radars around Northeast Ohio. We have had plenty to look at, haven't we?
Yeah, no bugs. That's the good news. They're all washed down in the puddles as of right now. The pollen's been super high over the last couple of days. That tree and grass pollen have both still been up there, and this rain has just been a blessing to those allergy sufferers. I'm raising my hand. I'm one of them over the last weekend. Gosh, it was awful, that grass pollen. But that's certainly been one of the positives in terms of the rainfall. Negatives, we've had some flooding. Everything's starting to get a little bit better out in northern areas of Lorain County. You see the radar. The trend has been for these storms to kind of bubble their way south. We're pretty rained out. A lot of the atmospheric energy that we get from the heating of the sun is pretty much zapped. So we're not expecting a whole lot more rain off towards the north. Bulk of the rain next couple hours down to the south. And then I think we go kind of quiet tonight as it looks right now, just kind of studying past radars here over the last 15 years or so. Heavy rain producing storms, we've had them. Here's where the rain has fallen. Some of these brighter greens, that's where we're up over an inch. Some of the yellows where we have 2+ inches radar estimated rain, still coming down good. This is a decent storm. Again, nothing severe here. We're not talking power lines down, all that stuff. We're just talking heavy rain, some lightning, maybe a little bit of small hail in this, but this is now moving into Tuscarawas County, New Philly, up towards the Strasburg community, Walnut Creek, getting some heavier rain. This is all moving east, kind of bubbling its way eastward. Again, we've got some pretty towering heights with this, 30,000 feet or so. So you get that rain falling from way up high, mixed with some ice and hail, and it falls down. You can get some gusty winds with this as it kind of crashes to the ground. So these are some pretty decent summertime thunderstorms. Rain has subsided off towards the north. This has been allowed to expire. Models, or our computer's still keeping it on there, but that's okay. So we're getting better. Here's the tropics. Yeah, it's over Ohio right now. We got that low pressure still pinwheeling this in. This pattern doesn't change really over the next 3 or 4 days. We'll start to see some movement this weekend. Temperatures, 70s where you've had the rain, 80s where we haven't had the rain. Look at the bigger picture though. It's actually warmer and actually darn hot as you get up towards Minneapolis. 96 degrees right now. Rain cooled air. That's one of the positives in terms of what this rain is doing, and that soupy air mass all the way up to the Canadian border at this point. And again, it's not going anywhere until later this week. So let's look at how that does evolve. Your National Design Mart big picture look here. That area low pressure that's been peeling all this rain in kind of looks to center itself over Indiana tomorrow. So that will bring more rainfall chances. Models depicting perhaps some heavier rain near the center of that low. I don't know if I really buy that. It'll be pretty scattered, but bottom line, rainfall chances, not just tomorrow, but Thursday we'll go scattered rain. Friday, things start to push down to the south. We finally get a push. So we'll go isolated, kind of lingering showers around here. Weekend's interesting. Models kind of diverge on this. We're going to have some kind of energy coming out of Canada. So we're going to keep isolated rain in the forecast late Saturday, but better chance on Sunday with that. Overall, the big picture, yeah, again, the pink, I think a little overdone in that, but you can see the bulk of the rain here across the Ohio Valley. And when you could use it, there's our deficit. That's the latest, 3 to 4 inches. And again, that's where the rain gauge is at the airport. So your backyard, you may have a little bit too much. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast, low 80s next couple days. We start to clear things out this weekend with some isolated thunderstorm chances. And then next week we get some refreshing air finally. Temperatures back into the 70s. Low humidity looks to start next Monday and Tuesday as well. So Jay, some relief is just beyond the horizon.
We're looking forward to it. Matt, thank you very much. Right now, we're looking forward to finding out what is clicking in Cleveland. And for that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, a very good Tuesday afternoon to you.
Good Tuesday to you, Jay, and everybody here at home. We start off with one of our own being honored. Cleveland Cavaliers' Lorain Jr. was nominated today for the NBA Cares Community Assist Award. This is for his work to support small businesses this past NBA season, wearing local business t-shirts to each game and then auctioning off game-worn items afterwards to donate the proceeds to that particular business. He's one of 10 players nominated, and the winner gets $25,000 donated to the cause of his choice. Now, fans decide the winner. You can vote through the Jebbit app or by posting on Twitter using the hashtag NBA Community Assist, and either tagging Larry on Twitter, you see his handle right there, or hashtagging Larry Nance Jr. Today is National Best Friends Day. You can head to our WKYC Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages to tag your best friends and show them how much they mean to you. And just for fun, I have a photo here to show you of a few of my best friends. That's where you'll see to post and tag yours. But here's a couple of weirdos who I know who finally got back together last week, hanging out here in the studio after a long time. That's how we really feel about it. That first one, that's a serious photo. There's how we really feel about it. All right, and internationally renowned artist Wordsmith is creating a mural tour in Cleveland this summer. One of the 15 pieces will honor the late Cleveland rocker Michael Stanley. Wordsmith will use lyrics from his hit song Lover to cover 2,200 feet on Payne Avenue. His art is all over the world with murals in Chicago, Los Angeles, Texas, London, and New Zealand. The pieces will show up in Lakewood, the Gateway District, and Cleveland Heights, just to name a few of those spots. Now, this is meant to encourage people to explore the city, take lots of photos, Jay and Betsy, and this is in partnership with organizations here in the city, but also Graffiti Heart, which I know you two artistes know a few things about.
Yeah, that's where we got our graffiti training.
Yeah.
Betts and Jay.
J-A-E.
Yeah, and Betts, B-E-T-Z.
That's right.
That's our graffiti tag signs.
So
if you see any of that across the city, it's our stuff.
It definitely is. It's probably not.
Stephanie, thank you very much. Coming up next on What's News, some of your Wi-Fi information might be available to your neighbors. We're going to tell you all about Amazon's Sidewalk feature. More importantly, we're going to tell you how to turn it off.
Jay loves that story.
It's a favorite of mine.
All right, and we're also going to be getting a first look inside the Babe Cave. Meet the photographers taking their frustration out about snapping the perfect selfie. Well, they made a selfie studio for that.
Today is Tech Tuesday here on What's New. We do that every Tuesday. Starting today, some of Amazon's devices will share your Wi-Fi information unless you opt out. It's part of the company's new Sidewalk feature. Amazon says the feature turns select devices in your home, including some Echoes and Ring doorbells, into so-called bridges. Those bridges then share a small portion of your internet bandwidth, pooling it with your neighbors.
Now, the company's goal is to create a low bandwidth network with extended range for some of the devices. It claims that it's secure and that your personal information won't be revealed, but a lot of people still have concerns. And if this is not for you, here is how you opt out. If you have the Amazon Alexa app, you can click on the More icon at the bottom right of your screen, then hit Settings, select the account settings, and then scroll down to Amazon Sidewalk. I found out there's also a feature called Workout. I have no idea what that is, and you can bet it's not on mine. Anywho, finally, all you gotta do is turn that baby off, that little toggle icon on the right to be able to disable.
Yeah, and if you want to opt out of the Ring device, that doorbell device, you can go to the Control Center and then tap that three-lined icon that's always in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, select Sidewalk, and just use the toggle icon to opt out. We have all this information on WKYC.com. Bet's permission to be frank.
I'm gonna get a beverage.
Okay.
And sit here while
this
you
is
go on.
absolutely absurd to me. How many times have big tech companies told us, don't worry, your data's safe, everything's fine here, only to find out there's been a breach and all of your information, sometimes your social security number, sometimes your credit card, is available out there. How any companies get away with making users opt out of any features where you are sharing your data is absolutely beyond me. Why not opt into those? That's the thing. So the default is you're sharing nothing. Yes. And if you want to share, and I love my neighbors, some of them are watching right now. I love you guys. But if I want to share my stuff, let me choose to do that, and I'll opt in.
Yeah, I think the opt-in is the way to go. You know, convince me how awesome it is. Convince me it's secure.
That I want to share my
stuff. Don't make me assume, because I am not going to assume. Been there, done that, and we have gone down. So I think the opting in is the way to do it.
I just can't believe that that's not the way it is.
I wish we could opt in on like robocalls too and stuff. Instead of opt out. It's the same exact thing.
Yes, 100%. Okay, I'm done with my rant.
Okay, thanks.
I just think it's our information. We own it. We shouldn't be sharing it without our permission. There you go.
Okay. Everyone, calm down. Take a deep breath, Jay.
I'm good now. I got it off my chest.
Speaking of the internet, it's literally now at your fingertips. And it also comes with added pressure to look your best all the time. You know those selfies? Well, 2 Akron photographers are taking the hassle out of trying to capture your best self. Kara Cotton is back with a first look at the Babe Cave, Akron's first selfie studio.
The clout, honestly.
Yes.
We just wanted the Instagram pictures.
That's Brooke and Malia, 2 friends that made the drive from Columbus to visit the Babe Cave, Akron's first selfie studio.
Booked right away as soon as I saw the TikTok. I was so excited.
And they aren't the only ones. The video, giving a tour of the studio, has been viewed on the social media platform nearly 500,000 times. But who's behind this influencer wonderland? Meet Aisley Herndon and Allie Sayer, 2 Akron photographers who specialize in editorial and couples photography, respectively. Even though the pair are separated by more than a decade in age,
they kind of sound like an old married couple sometimes.
The Babe Cave fuses both of their styles and has seen more than 500 bookings since opening in May.
For most people, the mirror selfie is the norm. Decent lighting and a good view. But at the Babe Cave, you get the full experience.
There's lighting, there's tripods, there's lenses, there's all kinds of stuff like to help you take your own pictures.
Currently home to 12 different sets, groups or individuals can rent out the space by the hour and take as many photos as they want. And you don't need a fancy camera to do it.
We built all of these sets so that they could be taken with an iPhone.
Whether you want to float in the clouds, play Twister, take a jab at boxing, or even dive into the Harry Styles fandom, there's a set to suit everyone's personality.
A good picture is going to be whatever makes the person feel good. So if you're in here and you feel your best and it's a good selfie, forget what social media says.
And get this, Aisley and Allie plan to swap out 1 set each month so the experience stays fresh and current. And Jay and Betsy, I have to tell you, that was a blast.
It looked fun, yeah.
Now, what is your tip for the best selfie?
Well, I think Aisley said it best. You have to just be confident in yourself, and if you're having a good time, you feel good, the pictures will fall in place.
And the background really can make a bad picture great.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what this is all about.
Yeah, super
Very
fun.
good. And you say this, they're killing it. They're doing well with this.
Doing phenomenal. Book now if you want to go.
Very good. Pretty cool. Kiara, thank you.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Another one I wish I would have thought of. We'll be right back.
Hey, mic check, 1, 2, 3. I'm Laura Queso. Thanks so much.
Started the business when I was living in Georgia. Hi. Yes, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're in Canton McKinley at the high school where the beleaguered coach is no longer working.
Hello, testing 1, 2. Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Laura Queso and I'm Russ Mitchell tonight. Thank you.
We wrap it up with our show us something good. Comes to us from Westlake. The police department there posted on its Facebook page that a World War II hero and Westlake resident got to go home after needing to spend some time in the hospital. Officers escorted him home and helped the 97-year-old into his house. What's New would like to say thank you, sir, for your service, and thanks to the officers for getting him home safely.
That is a great story.
It
Love
really
to
is.
see everybody pulling together. Well, that wraps it up for us today. Another great show on
Back
this
at 5
hot, sultry
tomorrow.
day. We'll be back tomorrow at 5, of course.
What Matters Most with Russ and Laura starts right now.
Now at 6, flash flood warning. Parts of northeast Ohio hit with several inches of rain, causing flooding and a messy evening commute. Fired football coach speaks